The years leading up to and during menopause are a rite of passage. The wise woman inside of us is calling to slow down, to take stock, to speak our truth, to burn away all that no longer serves us, ready for our next cycle of life. The good news is, with the support, community, connection, and most of all, sharing our stories and being truly seen and heard, we will travel through this powerful, sometimes painful, heroine's journey and out the other side. Welcome to the Menopause Podcast, real and raw stories of midlife and mental health. I'm your host, Kylie Patchett, menopause self-care coach and storyteller, and I am so glad you found us. Let's get on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the podcast. It's Kylie, and today I have my beautiful friend Maria Doyle in the studio. How are you, Maria?
Fabulous.
I'm so looking forward to this conversation. We've booked and rebooked, I don't know how many times, but we were just talking off air about which part of this magical picture of Maria's life we want to talk about. And we have ended up with the topic of if you think that if you're in your late 30s and you don't have to think about menopause for potentially another 10 years, today's conversation might change that for you. So where do you want to start, Maria? Let's go with, let's talk about the book that actually woke you up to the fact that maybe some of what you were going through, which was very stressful, which we'll also cover, may have been perimenopause. It's a book I keep on talking to you about, and I haven't actually gotten myself, so I have to.
Yeah. So it's called The Upgrade.
Yes.
It's by Dr. Luann, someone I always forget her last name.
Yes. I've got it right here. Oh, Brezendine.
There you go. Probably because I don't know how to say it properly, so
yes.
My brain just refuses to remember it. So I was studying that in a book club with three of my very dear friends who are in their 70s.
Yes.
Or late 60s. And they were kind of all having revelations like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know that. And I was reading it going, oh, because the ladies were like, oh, you're not that far off, like this might be a good thing to prepare you, forearmed is forewarned or whatever it is. And I was like, oh, yeah, good idea. So started reading it and then was just like, I knew nothing about menopause, perimenopause. I just thought that was something for women in their 50s to worry about. And it was all about hot flushes and, I don't know, hot flushes and being a bit moody or, putting on a bit of weight or something. Like that's really, the nature of my work, I work with GPs and naturopaths and people like yourself putting together courses to support people in perimenopause, but I didn't really think it had anything to do with me. And then I started reading this book and I was like, oh,
hang on a minute.
I was 43 at the time and I resonated with so much. So this woman, she's a GP and she breaks down all the different phases of the perimenopause kind of process. And don't quote me on this, there's 6 or 8 or something, I can't remember. But I had no idea that this starts changing in your 30s, late 30s. I had no idea.
I love the subtitle for this book as I'm looking at it on my other screen, How the Female Brain Gets Stronger and Better in Midlife and Beyond, which sounds bloody good to me because I think we hear a lot about the early stages where things can just feel like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening to my brain or my personality and my confidence and all of those things. But that paints a really positive picture. And even the word upgrade to me is like, okay, cool. Good things are coming. But let's take a step back a little bit because you said to me, oh, when I read the book, I realized it wasn't just me being a bit crazy or cranky. What had been happening though? Because you had like a lot of life circumstances kind of collide in one go.
Yeah. Yeah. So my lifestyle is a little bit unconventional in that my partner is in Norway, as are his 2 kids.
Yep.
And I have a base both in Perth and in Norway with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months here, 3 months there. And it works for us. It's fantastic. I love it. It's a great lifestyle until a pandemic decides to hit. So at the time, I run my own business, so I can work from anywhere, and I've got clients all over the world. So time zones and changing time zones has never really been an issue for me or the people that I work with. So I was due to go over for another 3 months, and the pandemic hit. So my partner had just gone back like a week or 2 weeks before. I mean, when he went back, there was a flu in China, but that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't COVID in capital letters.
Yeah. And then I went to Bali to deliver some volunteer teacher training, some of these projects that I was working on at the time. And it was like, there's this pandemic. You have to get back to Australia, because if you don't, you might be thrown in a quarantine, or you might be locked out of Australia for good. And I was like, whoa. So I got on the next plane and got home literally the day before hotel quarantine became mandatory.
Yeah.
And then that was it, days. It all locked down. Yeah. So my partner was thankfully back in Norway with his kids. I can't even imagine. I mean, Norway would never have locked him out for a start, but anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, very, very difficult bit of time ahead. When you've got family on the other side of the world and countries close borders, it's pretty full on. And so I didn't really know when I was going to see him again. And we had, by some sort of fluke, I don't know, someone was looking after us and sent us a message, applied for a student visa for me, because this 3 month in, 3 month out, like get a student visa a couple of years, can stay a bit longer, maybe 6 or 8 months at a stretch, and
makes it easy.
Then it takes the pressure off for a couple of years. So I did that, but really it was last minute. It was like, throw the application in. So, well, if I get something, I get something. If I don't, I don't. And that was the only reason that we got to see each other. Otherwise we would have been separated for nearly 2 years. So I got that student visa came through in the July of 2020, and I was allowed to leave the country because I was considered to be becoming a resident of another country. So once I got there, then that was it. Australia wasn't letting anyone back in, really.
Nope.
I mean, I could have forked out the 20K at any point in time, but that was a conscious decision that was a rort and I wasn't going to do it. And obviously living with my partner and his kids wasn't that bad. So
exactly.
I was home, I was safe, I was working, I was, looked after, everything was good, just on the opposite side of the world. So at that time as well, I was buying a new apartment in Perth. Tenants were moving in and out of my actual property. My friends were packing up my house because I couldn't get back to do it myself. So I was trying to, packing a house is one of the most stressful things I've ever come across in my life. Now try doing it by video.
Oh, yeah, no.
Traumatic.
I couldn't do that. Beautiful. The control freak in me. No.
And I've got beautiful friends who all rallied around and turned up. And, how many spatulas do you really need? I'm like, stop judging my
put them in the box.
Literally super stressful. So add to that, trying to buy a new apartment, and you've got they're going, you just need to go to your embassy and get this thing notarized. And I'm like, there is no Australian embassy in Oslo. They're like, you've got to go to Denmark. That's the closest. And I'm like, the borders are closed. How do you expect me to go and get something notarized? Like, it's impossible. So imagine all the stress. And then the land gate in Western Australia was I rang them 3 times within 2 weeks, spoke to different people every time, got the same answer. Yes, you just needed this one piece of paper. So $125 DHL to sell one signed A4 piece of paper that I also paid a doctor, $200 to sign. And then, no, we need another piece of paper.
Far out. I don't know how you didn't lose your, So
but you at also, the same time,
I
was doing a master's to stay in the country, running a full-time business and running a household with my partner and his 2 teenage children who I was learning to love.
Yes, step parent and cohabitate with. Is that a word?
Cohabitate. Yes, we don't like this. Yes.
Right.
Yes, so put all of those things together, and I was a bit of a nervous wreck, working 18-hour days some days, just trying to get through the workload, trying to do what I had to do with my clients. It was good in one way because it was the middle of the pandemic and there was not much else to do, and we were locked into our own homes as well, much like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So it was good to be busy, but there was a lot of underlying stress
Yeah.
in all of that as well. So, yeah, I was, by the time I got back to Australia, and that story in itself requires a whole
I know
podcast
that.
episode.
I remember watching on Facebook and I was like, oh my God, she's
what is
never
going
going to
on?
get in the country. Oh my
Yeah, so
goodness.
after like 12 postponed flights and hours spent on a phone with the aircraft, I'm not going to name names, but there are certain airlines I would never fly again, just on principle.
Yeah.
I find all of a sudden I got catapulted onto this flight and I was home in the space of 24 hours when it was the most intense. I've never been through like 24 hours like that in my life, and I hope I never will again, because it was ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I got back and then I was in an apartment for a week quarantining, and then all of a sudden I went into this kind of, right, well, you've got to furnish in your apartment. It's a pandemic. Perth has got no furniture. It's not what you want. It's what you can get and what can be delivered on that day. Like, it was full on. And then just a whole heap of other things were happening at the same time. So I was up to here with panic, which most people hearing this now are probably going, well, I would have been panicking as well.
But this is the thing, though, as you're talking, this is exactly why a lot of people do not identify that perimenopause is colliding with life, because when you're already stressed and you get panicked, you go, the panic is from the stress, which, more than likely it was partly. But then when you read this book, you're like, hang on a minute. There's this pattern of panic and anxiety that can happen when your brain first goes into that first early stage of perimenopause. Hey, gorgeous. We interrupt this gold for a delicious invitation. If your whole body has been whispering more lately, more voice, more truth, more satisfaction, more clients of the soulmate variety, more cash, more you, then this invitation is for you. Potent, my sister mind is officially open. This is my high touch, holy fuck, I'm ready sister mind for rebels in good girl clothing who are done outsourcing their power and diluting their magic to fit into someone else's business formula. If you have been craving a space where your strategy, your voice, and your energy all get to be offered, honored, refined, and amplified, this is it. Inside of Potent, you'll get my eyes on your business every single week, copy mentoring, and that is for brand copy and content storytelling that turns your truth into client catnip, energetic recalibration that helps you unhook old learned limitation patterns, keeping you quiet, not being seen, not being heard, real-time, high-touch, one-on-one coaching that actually sees the bigness of your vision, and the kind of sisterhood that does not flinch when you show up in your full, messy, brilliant, phoenix rising from the ashes glory. This isn't surface level support. It's deep, potent, paradigm shifting work that changes who you are as a woman in business and a woman in life. We start in August. Early open access is open right now. For the month of June 2025, inside of this early access open doors period, you will receive juicy bonuses, extended payment plans, and access immediately to my entire library of storytelling gold. You'll find all the juicy details at kyliepatchett.com/potent. And we fill spaces, and there's only 10 of them, and more than likely only 5 by the time you listen to this, because by that time I will have offered them to the existing cohort, the beautiful original OG circle. We do actually take applications on a first come, first served basis. So come and apply, and let's get back to the magic of the episode.
Exactly. And it can just exacerbate whatever is already there, right?
Yeah.
So it was after that, and I ended up needing medication.
Yeah.
It was quite, I was literally on the verge of a panic attack. Like, panic was in my throat on a, like, minute
Oh,
by
I know
minute
that
basis.
feeling.
I
Yeah.
could not calm down.
Yeah.
Um,
Had you ever had anxiety
yeah,
before? Or that
not
feeling of like
really. I
the
mean,
impending doom?
no, I have
No.
always been very high energy, and let's just say if there's a million things to do in the next 4.5 minutes, they'll be done with 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
a second to spare kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll get stuff done, and I can operate at a high energy for a very long time before I start to head to burnout. And I have burnt out, so I know what burnout is, and I know what creates it, and I know how to avoid it. And I kind of felt a bit powerless in that pandemic. There was a lot of different things going on there. So I had to keep studying, because if I didn't, I'd be rooted out of the country.
Yep.
And then I had no idea when I was going to see my partner again. And, that's kind of base,
it's
Maslow's
security
hierarchy
stuff.
of needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like
100%.
base. Yeah, I mean,
base
very,
needs.
first world problems, but it isn't really at all, if you know what I mean? So, like anxiety. Have I suffered with anxiety in the past? Yes, but never like this. Like this was next level. Like, and I know all the, like you need to get enough exercise, and that's what keeps you sane. And like I use exercise to calm me down and to get rid of excess energy and to give me time to think and all of those things. I've done a lot of work.
Yeah, but that
and
still wasn't working.
What is going on? Like I was, couldn't sleep, fidgeting all the time, like just up here.
Yeah.
So, then it was after things calmed down a little bit and moved in and medication was working that, it was like, okay. Like, then I was doing this book club with the ladies and just going, oh, that's what those irrational bouts of rage were all about.
Yes.
Oh, because I'm kind of not an angry person in that respect. And I was just like, things were incensing me. Like, I want to slap you. I mean, like, odd.
My most recent bout of rage, my rage has been pretty good lately, but my most recent bout of rage was at the fact that I've just figured out what little dose of estrogen helps with my panic and anxiety. And now there's no fucking estrogen in Australia.
Of course not.
And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm saying to the pharmacist, I'm sorry. What did you say? He's like, there's no stock until about September. I'm like, I'm sorry. And this feeling of rage. And I'm like, you cannot attack the pharmacist just because there's a supply problem. Kylie, calm the hell down. It was pretty ironic though. Anyway, I said, you better actually get one of those screens in front of your counter before you start telling that to the whole town. Because I reckon there's going to be more than me.
Right. But you can't
say
that to a perimenopausal woman and think you're going to get away with it, mate.
I know.
Like,
I'm like, are you
like
kidding me? It's taken me so long to tweak, up, down, whatever. Because I have never had anxiety before. I always think if I'm out of whack, I tend towards like low mood rather than that sort of, anxious sort of feeling, and particularly not panic, nothing like that. But I have gone through a period, it's okay at the moment, where I'd be fine sitting up in the lounge, watching TV or reading a book or whatever, totally fine. Feeling sleepy, go to bed, lay down, anxiety starts, feeling of panic. And I'm like, what the hell is this? It's awful. Yeah. It was literally like a switch turned on. I didn't experience that until I was 47, but I just think, for those listening who are younger than you think you need to worry about menopause, think again.
And it's little things, like you don't put them all together unless someone puts them in a list in front of you and says how many of these things have changed in the last 3 or 4 years. Like just like cycle changes.
Yes.
Yep. Like I don't know, my body does about every 7 years. I've got a new kind of like, it used to be back pain and now it's cramps, or it used to be cramps and now it's something else. My body goes through these waves,
cycles. Yeah,
and I hadn't. When I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, yeah, like it's kind of gone from this many days to this many days on a semi-regular basis. And or just like sleep things. Like I can't ever remember having sleep problems until my late 30s. Like I was just out like a friggin' light every single night. And then, and like sitting there at 2:00 in the morning going, what is going on?
And wide awake. Yeah, actually,
wide awake.
looking back, I was actually just reading a couple of old diaries that I thought I'd chucked all of them out. And this one was from, it's been when I was about 44, I reckon. And yeah, I was writing about, like, I don't understand why all of a sudden I can't sleep past 2 o'clock. Da, 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 da. Never put two and two together. And now I'm retrospectively looking back and going, yes, 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 yes. What else do you remember standing out in the upgrade as you're going through the book, like your anxiety and panic and the rage? Was there anything else that you remember going, oh, that was actually maybe perimenopause too?
Yeah, just like changes with your skin and like, as I said, like the cycle changes and like just not just things like about how many days in a month, but then like, you know, how long your cycle actually is, like 28 days wise, but then also how long
length
like
of
you bleed
and
all those sorts of things. I can't remember now, they're not coming to me, but it was just like light bulb after light bulb after light bulb. I was like, oh wow, when you put all these things together, it's like, like, sure, you could explain that away with some of that with the amount of stress that I had going on with the pandemic, but then like these kind of like little bouts of rage where I would literally like have to white knuckle over shit that I knew was not like, my rational mind knew that should not be sending me close to off the deep end. And things like, okay, my 2 stepsons are gorgeous, gorgeous human beings. However, perimenopausal hormones and teenager hormones at the same time is some sort of cruel combination.
I know. Yep. I know.
Right? So like they're beautiful, kind human beings at their hearts. They're gorgeous. And, you know, they're teenagers, and teenagers have got a raft of different stuff going on for them.
Correct.
God love them. So, you know, that kind of like, is it me like not really understanding how to live with a teenager, or is it, you know, different parenting styles, or like so many different questions. But yeah, this book, I can't remember but it was just like
so
ping,
many.
ping, 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 ping.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like if only I'd known.
Yeah, if only I'd known. If only I'd gone into this with my eyes open.
And being hot all the time.
So
I didn't realise that the other way that you can be like hot flush person is just be hot all the time.
Run hot,
Yeah, even when I was a kid, I used to kick all my covers off all the time. Like I've always been the one that needs the least clothing. But But Per and I, one of the things that we do is go hiking in the woods and stuff, or like, you know, just on the trails. And I could not find clothing that I would not be a lather of sweat within 5 seconds. So of course, like it might be, you know, 5 degrees. So what do you wear in 5 degrees so that you can get warm, but not so warm that you're sweating?
Yes.
I could not. He was like, try wool. Bought a whole set of wool thermals. Nah. Cotton. Nah. But nothing. It didn't matter. I would just exert myself like this much and bang, covered in sweat. You know, I mean, and just like sweating like there was no tomorrow. Like, what is going on here? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just
we talk about hot flushes and night sweats, but I had never heard anyone going, just running hot. And I'm like, oh, running hot. Yeah, I've been doing that for about 5 years.
Yeah, so I've always run hot, but now I'm like next level run hot.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
I go to a yoga class, like, and I'm not joking, every other woman there is wearing like minimum long sleeve t-shirt and like a puffer vest or something. And I'm in a friggin' singlet, sweating. Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Do you know my newest symptom at the moment? I went to the gym this morning. I went to a class. It was like a circuity type of thing. And at the end, we did this sort of abs routine. So, you know, you're on your back, you've got a weight above your head, you're doing these things with your legs, and, you know, basically looking like a dying cockroach. If my mental picture of what I look like is correct, I'm looking like a dying cockroach. But in the middle of this, I'm like, man, I stink. And I'm like, not talking normal BO. I'm talking this weird new smell. And I'm like, what incarnation is this?
Like, right? Like
I keep reading 100%. That and going, no. And then I'm like, oh. So talk about teenage boys. I reckon one's living in my armpit.
Literally. No, that's happened to me a couple of times. I've been like in yoga classes and just like gone, oh my, Oh God, I can't rate.
I know. And the ladies were like, oh, you're going to come for coffee afterwards? And I'm like, I cannot.
No.
You might smell me. And then I'll be horribly embarrassed. Oh my God. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm interested, when you said before that you've gone through burnout before, how much overlap did you feel there was between burnout and the combination of all the things that you then put down to perimenopause was?
I guess they were. So I've never been clinically diagnosed with burnout or any sort of like what do you call, like chronic fatigue or anything like that. But so the first time was mid-20s, and I had again taken on far too much at the same time, like various part-time jobs, studying, looking after other people's properties because they were on holidays, looking after someone else's business because they were on holidays, doing all the things and just doing too much and not getting enough sleep and running myself into the ground. And I ended up allergic to basically every food group on the planet and had to go through this, like, well, the naturopath was like, you're not allergic to anything. Your body is trying to eat itself because you're stressed just going, and you're not getting sleep. And it's going, it must be the food that's going in your mouth. And I was like, righto. So turned that around by getting rid of a lot of the stress. And I was like, well, I'm never doing that again. Q 10 years in the future, I go to Kiribati and I'm working 18-hour days, not eating properly, drinking far too much alcohol. And again, kind of ended up in a situation where my body really went into failure, like organs started failing, and I was medevaced out. And essentially the doctors were like, oh, well, you're exhausted, you need some rest. And then another one was like, oh, you need a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And I was like, no, like, I'm an adventurer. There is something wrong. I don't know what it is, but there's something biochemically wrong in my body. So yada, 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 went through a lot of testing and found out that I've got a genetic condition where my body accumulates a certain acid and I need to get rid of it. So if it don't, then it can lead to essentially like copper toxicity. So if you read copper toxicity, it's pretty ugly. It can literally shut down your organs. So handy. I got that back on track. Again, removed myself from a highly stressful situation, and got my mind and body back on the road to repair. So it wasn't so much the job, but it was more the circumstances out there, and the fact that this genetic condition had kind of gone a bit completely under the radar. It was it often gets diagnosed as like misdiagnosed as ADHD and all these other things, but it's literally just a gene that does something a little bit differently, and you just need a higher dose of natural minerals that can counter. So you're just a bit out of whack in your minerals, basically. So I got that. So that burnout was more kind of my body literally shutting down in front of me. And this one was more about kind of just hitting the roof anxiety-wise. So they were all very different. I mean, having come through burnout a couple of times, I kind of know what gets me there. And obviously the pandemic was going to do that to anyone, but I can't, like I said before, I was kind of trapped in that situation where I couldn't get out of the situation that I was in, and it was just something I had to ride out, and we did, and we're out on the other end of it, and everything's fab. So I think it was easy to think that it's this kind of thing again, because I've been there and I know
that's why I'm wondering.
Easy to explain it away if you're not putting the perimenopause card
kind of
on the table at the same time. Because
I'm
it was
interested.
Also, I guess, sorry, just question you said before, like what else did you notice in the book? It's like this kind of sense of, I don't give a fuck what other people think. Right? This point where your brain just decides to not give a fuck anymore. Like I really I went through some very interesting times with people that I met at university there, and without going into more stories, it really made me question, like, well, who are you and what do you want and who do you want to spend time with? And I just decided that I had absolutely no fucks left to give for I guess people who weren't I guess on the same page, whatever that means, without being, I mean, it sounds very sort of airy-fairy, but yeah, I just decided I would prefer to have less friends that were good quality, that were honest and truthful and reliable than the opposite. So yeah, I guess if the question you're asking is how similar is it to burnout, I guess I just assumed it was another super stressful time of my life that I was going through, and I'd get out the other end eventually.
That's why I kind of wondered, because so many, I would say I've never been, like, I've been told by a naturopath, I've had adrenal fatigue before. If I look back, similar thing to you in my 20s, like I was managing a sleep lab, I was trying to get pregnant, I was working 24-hour shifts, I was like over delivering in every area of my life. And because, like you were saying before, high natural energy, I was able to do it for such a long time that it was just like, yeah, I can do it until boom, you can't. And that kind of is what perimenopause has felt like to me. It's like I had all these things in the air, and then all of a sudden about this time last year, I was like, I can't. I don't give a fuck about most of the balls that I've got in my hands, and B, I actually cannot, like, I do not have the physical or emotional energy to even care about what I drop.
Well, and I guess, like, add that to also things like, and like my girlfriend's like, oh, like I just spoke to a girlfriend the other day, and she's like, oh, I found out that I've got a Morton's neuroma in my foot, which is basically like these little nerve center things that kind of go about. And so I was like, I had one of them when I was your age, and I'm like, I wonder if your parents right, because she talks about this, the science in the book as well, right? She's like, you know, because the hormones are all changing, so is, like, hormones are involved in so many different body processes, right? So muscles and tendons and things, they start to change their composition, and your bones start to need different types of supplements, or, you know, like vitamins, minerals in different doses to what you're used to. Doing the same thing you used to do, you know, the weight
does not
gain
work anymore.
Stuff, like, doesn't work anymore. And so you just kind of I kind of wish I'd read that book even 5 years previously, because then I may have been seeing these things and going, oh, maybe this is the change, you know, like maybe I don't need to think so badly of myself for having, like, all of these, not things going wrong, but just confusing things that make you question, who are you? Like, what is going on in this body, right? Like,
and yes, and I think the common thing is, like, what used to work or what I used to do to feel good does not necessarily work now. In fact, most of the time it doesn't. I have to be careful though, because my perimenopause sort of like glasses are so on that anyone that's in their late 30s to 50-ish, if they're saying about, you know, being cranky or rageful or whatever, I'm like, oh, maybe you should think about perimenopause. But I did have a conversation the other day which reminded me that I have to be very careful how much I talk about what I think about someone else's experience, because a friend of mine was going, oh, I can't believe it. And she was like really not coping with something that her husband was doing. And then she was talking about her 2 kids, and then she was talking about her work and her clients and everything was like really, really testing her. And she's usually the most chilled person. She can juggle with her eyes closed. And I'm like, maybe you should think about perimenopause. And she turns around and goes, don't fucking tell me that I should be medicated because my family are assholes. And I was like, oh, okay. Yes, no, you're right. But when I was saying to my daughter about this conversation the other day, she's like, that is the same as saying when someone is a little bit moody, oh, have you got your period? And I'm like, oh, okay. I get that wasn't my intention. But I get what you're saying, that it could be seen as me sort of trying to diminish someone's experience by saying, oh, it's probably perimenopause. I was actually trying to be helpful, but yes, I must be careful.
Maybe time and place.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that someone else had kind of said a similar thing, and it just happened to be that I was the second. Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
I don't think anyone our age, and I say our age in a rather large bracket, wants to be told that what they're going through might be the change. I just don't think any woman is ever ready to have that thrown at her face if she hasn't done a lot of reading about it already, or she's not naturally openly curious about it. I mean, I've been saying to my girlfriends, like, are you perimenopausal too? And they're like, what?
What do you mean?
I was like, oh, sorry, I reckon I am. But they're like, what? No, you're too young for that. And then we start having a conversation about it. So I don't know, like, I kind of put it back onto me.
Yeah.
If I, yeah,
See,
because it's not
better approach.
well, I mean, it's only saying like, you know, I was blindsided.
Well, that's what I
42,
say too.
like I just,
Yeah.
yeah, like I just thought it was something that happened in your 50s. Like it doesn't happen when you're 42, for goodness sake. Like what? No.
Well, I was still blindsided at 47. I'm like, I don't know. And I think too, and now I look back and go, oh, you little naive young Kylie. But I look back now and think, I just thought that I was always going to be full of energy, naturally really healthy, good constitution, resilient, robust, person that could just get on and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, everything's aching and I feel anxious and I can't sleep properly and I'm like, oh, this was not the story that I had of how I would age. And I know that this is a transition point, so more than likely things will change on the other side as well. But yeah, I just think it wasn't part of my story of, like, I look at my dad who died at 91. Happy birthday, Dad. It's his birthday today. And he was like still walking heaps, a kilometre in the morning and a kilometre in the afternoon at 91 just before he had a stroke. Like, and that's my version of how I'm going to age. And then all of a sudden I'm like, we went out on the bike yesterday. I'm like, oh, my hips, I can't move. I'm like, oh my God, what has happened to me in the last 18 months? Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going in for a knee replacement. I'm 44.
Yeah.
I'm turning 45 in a few months and I'm horrified, but I mean, this is a problem I've had since I was 15. So like, it's not surprising.
It's a structural.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a structural issue, but yeah.
What's changed? So we talked about burnout before and that sort of tendency of like getting to the point where overscheduling and pushing past limits. And I know that during the pandemic, you had so much client work on and you got like a busier, if anything. What have you changed the pace in which you live and work now, being more aware of that you potentially are in perimenopause or at least early perimenopause? Has that changed or?
I kind of, when the study was over, so that was like August last year, it was really kind of bit much earlier than that. But anyway, I kind of just said, okay, I survived that, but only just. And our good friend Angela was going on a sabbatical at the time. And I was like,
sounds good.
Service leave. I've been running this business for 10 years. Yeah. I think my boss can give me long service leave.
Excuse me, sir.
Madam, can you stop being a bitch and driving me so hard and let me have a holiday? So I just sort of thought, you know what, I'm just going to let things cruise to the end of the year. I'm not going to follow up with any potential clients or anything. I'm just going to let the work come in if it needs to come in, and I'm just going to say yes to the things that I really want to do and say no to the things that I don't, and just kind of cruise a little bit. And that kind of kept happening until about March this year. And I was like, I guess I should probably decide that I'm ready to work again or something. Like, do I need to like alert the authorities, or, when I say the authorities,
push the red button.
Like the higher beings, like, hey, send me some work again, please. And I was kind of like having that thought, and pop, it all turned back on again, like within a couple of weeks. It was quite odd, to be honest. Anyway, and now I don't know, like I'm kind of in a pattern of, I've always got the right number of clients, I've always got the right amount of work, and when I have a couple of weeks of not much to do, I just go, woo, like, off to the beach or off to whatever it is that I want to do, and just really enjoy the time that I've got that's good downtime, because I know the nature of this business means that I'm going to be, like wired again. Like this week, I'm trying to finish off a really large project that I've been working on out in Tuvalu. In the middle of the Pacific. So, it's pedal to the metal. It's up to midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because that's when my brain turns on and I really get the work done, when I've got, admin and clients and emails and meetings and things interrupting me. So, so I work with the natural kind of flow of things. And I guess I've never done that before. I've always just been go, 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 go all the time, and get more work and fill in all available time and work as hard as you can and earn as much money as you can. And now I'm just like, how about you just take the work that's in front of you and do a good job, and take a rest when it's not, and keep pushing, stop pushing.
I did a piece of art the other night, because I done a meditation. I had this like nice loosey-goosey afternoon in the sun. I was reading a bit, and then I started like doodling in my art book, and it ended up being this, I don't know, it's not really a piece of art, but like a doodle. And in the middle of it, it's just like, let life lead. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that pushing and striving. And I'm like, will I ever have that again? But I don't know. Definitely not at the moment. Definitely not.
I think there's a healthy way to push yourself and there's an unhealthy way. And I think that kind of you and I both came into online business, around the same time. Not exactly. You were there a bit before me, but it's kind of, we came into it where there was a real push to like be the next Marie Forleo or be the next, Gabby Bernstein or whatever. Yeah. And I don't know, like there was so much pressure for me for that first 5 years. I just felt like I was constantly failing, like I wasn't. And my industry is so different to these industries that can operate like that. Like what I do is very niche and it's very service-based and, yada, yada. And I realized that being like the social media queen was also not something, I couldn't think of anything worse. Like I just hated the whole relentlessness of it. Yeah, and just having to be on social media all the time. I had a social media detox for like a month. And then I was like, oh, I actually met people and spoke to people in real life and it was so lovely. And I just went, you know what, if I have to use that level of hustle to get a business online, I'm just not interested. So I'm going to go back to the old-fashioned, do a good job, people will talk about you kind of approach.
Yeah. Oh, amen.
And, it's worked. So,
and that's kind of where the let life lead comes from because, I came back into like I left my business for all of those reasons. I didn't have anything left in the tank to be on all the time. I, back in those days, thought, you had to be, do be and have everything that B school says you should and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, it didn't come naturally to me. I was hustling. I felt like I was sort of, I was feeling like I was getting too far away from my own value system. And then something happened in our personal lives and I was just like, that's it, time out. And this time when I came back, I've definitely had the call to that type of thing if I notice that I'm coming from fear. So if I come from, I have to find the next client or whatever. And since I've just decided I'm trusting my joy and I'm trusting what comes easily to me. And, I came back thinking I would go back to coaching. And what's ended up happening is I'm copywriting mainly and, having cool conversations and, talking about self-care. I'm like, okay, I did not see that coming. But that's what I think the softening for me, I reckon, is just that. I don't know, is it same thing as like zero fucks to give, but it's like I just can't be asked trying to be anyone but myself. And there's that softening in that.
And I think that's what she talks about in this book, that's kind of like coming into yourself of, like I am who I am.
Yeah.
If you don't like me, that's
cool.
fine.
Yeah.
Please go spend time with people that you do like.
Yes.
It's I think settling into a place with work where if you love what you do and you're drawn to projects where you excel and where your skill set's, being really sort of taken to the extent that it can be taken, then you'll be having fun. And it's much easier for you to say, like if a client's got a job for you and they say, okay, I've got a job for you doing, so converting this from this to this, and you try it for a couple of hours and you just go, no.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to be doing this. This is not the best use of my time. This is not using my skills appropriately. And having the balls to be honest enough about that and say, look, thank you for that opportunity. I really appreciate that you thought of me, but this is just not the best use of my time. Like you are not getting value for money here.
Yeah.
And the honesty that comes about and the liberation it gives you to just go, no,
so good. Liberation is a word that keeps on coming to me a lot lately. And it is like, wild and free has always been a big thing for me anyway, but the liberation is, it's like, I don't actually, and I think you said a similar kind of thing I was thinking about in the shower this morning where I do all my thinking. I was thinking my bubble of my life is getting more and more selective with who is welcome in it, because I just will not
100%.
take bullshit. And I think that, a lot of that has come from, dealing with codependency sort of, long ingrained codependency things where, even like an old friend was doing and saying stuff a couple of weekends ago. I was like, no, no. I used to put up with that shit, but I actually don't anymore. And so, the bubble gets more and more selective, but I really like my bubble. I'm like, man, if you need to come into the bubble, that's pretty cool. And I'd love to be in your bubble if we feel good together, but I'm not going to just let you in because I feel like I should, which is what I used to.
Yeah.
Liberation.
Well, I think it's less fucks to give about what other people think and more fucks to give about what you truly desire.
Yes.
That's not just about even a 100%. Wanting. It's like a desire and want are two different things, right? Like, And I guess that ability to create your own version of without all the shoulds, like I should be doing this and I should be doing that and society expects this of me and that of me. It's like, well, you know what? I am a middle-aged woman who middle-aged? What is middle-aged? I don't know. I'm a woman in my 40s who doesn't work for a company. I work for myself. I don't have children of my own, but I've taken on someone else's the best I can, the best way I can, as teenagers. Am I a stepmother? I kind of recoiled at that name. I was like, it kind of goes with the word, evil stepmother.
It's the connotation. Yeah.
I kind of like to think. I'd kind of like to think that I'm more like a trusted woman in the household rather than don't like that word, but whatever. So like what are those roles and what do they mean and what are you meant to do? I don't know. Like there is no normal. The only thing that's normal is a setting on a washing machine.
Correct.
Right? Like,
oh, I love that.
That's it. It's true.
Yeah, that's so true. Because it's all just a story, right? Who told you that was normal? And if you get really, really clear with it, who told you it was normal and then who profits from that? Energetically, money-wise, whatever, like any form of profit, like who actually profits from you being put in that box and keeping to that role for the rest of your life? And I'm just like, I'm not down with that at all. And I look back, I think if I look at myself in my 20s and 30s, like I can definitely say, there was lots of overworking and, codependency and blah, blah, blah. But the bits of me that I really love have just gotten stronger and stronger in this transition. It's like that status quo challenging and why the fuck should I do that? And I don't know, it's not even really rebellious. It's just like, no, I know who I am and that is not me. And I'm not, I don't want to shove I always say my neuro-sparkly self into your little tiny round peg hole thing.
Yeah.
I do not fit in there.
My mentor talks about living a framed or a frameless life.
Ooh.
And I love that definition because it's so like it is like you're kind of born into whatever frame society puts you into. So like, whatever that might be and whatever privilege or non-privilege you're born into. But, you're white, you're black, you're female, you're male, you're sporty, you're not sporty, you're artistic, you're intelligent, you're, none of those things. I don't know, like you get put into this frame and like that's the frame that you think society has got for you. And you get into your 40s and you go, why? Like why
bullshit.
Because I guess media and all the different influences we've got telling us that that's the frame that we should be living in. But I mean in my 20s I remember rebelling against that. I didn't call it that then. I had no idea what it was, but I remember coming back from a exchange program to Italy when I was 16 and I came back to boarding school in year 12 and I sat in my little room in boarding school and thought, what is the point of this? Like there's got to be more to life than 9 to 5 and a white picket fence and 2.5 kids in the suburbs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And God bless anyone who's living like that right now and happy. Good on you.
Yeah, if you're happy, cool.
For me,
rock on.
Yeah, good on you. But for me, I was like, I don't really want that. And I remember having a conversation with people, quite close and important to me, and they were like, "Well, but you haven't lived if you haven't had kids. You need to have kids." And I was like, the defiant person in me wants to prove you wrong on that one.
I'm not God,
And
what a weird thing
I
to
know.
say. You haven't lived. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, okay, so we're going to define people's success on earth in line with whether they have or
Procreate or
have
not.
not contributed their DNA to a living human being. Is that do you mean raise children? Do you mean have children?
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
mean birth to a
Yes,
child?
exactly.
Define that a bit for me, because I'm so confused. And like, I always thought, I never went into life thinking that I wasn't going to get married and have kids. I just thought that it would happen at some point a lot of the time. And I never met anyone I really wanted to have kids with, to be honest. I was like, and then mid-30s, I was like, shit, I might be a bit too late. And
well, see, I know people that
kind of felt like it was.
Well, sorry, I know people that felt like, oh, time is ticking, and just said yes to the next person that came along, and here they are 15 years down the track, deeply unhappy. And I'm like, how's that working out for you? How is that working out for you? And what are you showing your kids? Like,
look,
just
and
because,
again, if their life journey, what they're doing, not my place to judge what they're doing, but for me, I just knew that if I couldn't do it with the right person, I didn't want to do it at all. It was like, that was always very clear in my mind. I wasn't going to do it for the sake of doing it. I didn't have this longing desire to have a child by myself. I couldn't think of anything worse than doing it by myself. I was like, no, I want someone else who wants to do this with me, and is going to stick through it. And it didn't happen.
Do not leave me here.
And I mean, currently I've inherited 2 teenagers. You know, I mean,
you don't even know
12
what
and 16 were
in
interesting
store.
ages.
Oh, 12 and 16, far out, man.
Well, it's now 17 and 21, so, you know. Yeah, it's been interesting. But, you know, like I said before, gorgeous kids, and I feel very blessed to be another woman in their lives, which is lovely. But yeah, no, you know, you just don't know what life's gonna throw at you. But yeah, I would never have said at the age of 42 that I'd be in the throes of perimenopause and completely unawares. Like, there's just no way. There's just no way.
This is, I'm continually going, how did this happen? That I have not. And I know that menopause is enjoying its time in the sun. I think it's great that we're having more conversations. But when I'm talking to people that are around me, there's a lot of talk about menopause if you're a person who talks about menopause and you follow other people that talk about menopause. But I don't think there actually is in the general population.
No. I think when kids learn about puberty, they should also be learning about reverse puberty that may be going on with their mothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, you are going through puberty. These are all the changes that go through, you know, your life. Now, if you're a man, you will go through this surge of changes, and then you will just slowly, like, end up, you know, like in your elderly years, and not much will have changed. If you're a woman, however, you get to do this twice. Lucky you.
Yes, indeed.
Right? Like, I mean, this stuff should be taught in high school. I mean, not all the details, but like, so ladies, how many of you have mums at home, or, you know, ladies at home between the ages of 38 and 60?
Yeah.
I mean, like, right?
Guess what?
They might be a little bit cranky some days, and it's not because they don't love you. It's because their hormones are doing funny things, just like they're doing to you.
Exactly. And, you know, I would say, we don't expect anyone to go through puberty without changing and without having, you know, changes in moods, changes in physicality, changes in all the things that hormones change during puberty. And therefore, why the hell are we expecting ourselves to just, like when you said before, like, I thought, you know, something happened later on, you got hot. I don't even really think that I thought about menopause, but my overarching kind of thing was, definitely not in your 40s, definitely in your 50s. And it was more to do with, you just stopped bleeding. And I'm like, if it were that simple,
wouldn't that be nice?
I would be talking about it.
Wouldn't that be nice? Just turn that off, have a few hot flashes, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. But I do think
it was that simple.
Yeah. I do think that and I'm going to get a copy of the upgrade where we started. I do think there's a lot of gifts in this, though, exactly what we're talking about. It's like, I think you get more discerning, you get to know yourself better, you're more unapologetic about yourself. And I think when you've got less fucks to give, you are careful where you spend them. which,
Yes.
that's good news. It's not a bad thing.
Yes.
Not a bad thing. Because, I
Totally
reckon
agree.
if I continued to have the same energy I had when I was 20 for my entire life, I could be burning out as an 80-year-old.
Yeah. Exactly. But
And
you just
that would not be
get
good.
much more savvy, don't you? How to use your energy, where to put your energy, where to put your fucks to give.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love that. I don't know, might try and find it for the show notes. There's something going around on Instagram at the moment, and it's like a little rabbit jumping around like crazy. He's like, I've got no more fucks to give. No more fucks to give. No more fucks to give. I keep on being sent it, and I'm like, I think there's a message here. Oh dear.
Yep.
It has been a delight to talk to you, as it always is. I cannot wait to see what is next after you get this knee fixed. I'm like, what sporting adventures or hiking adventures or Norwegian adventures is this woman going to go on? What's next?
Oh, we've got lots planned. There's a couple of peaks in Norway that I really want to get to. Yeah, I'm hanging out for that. And hopefully by next summer I'll be attempting one of the smaller ones. So that's a year after the operation. That is if my other knee doesn't need the same surgery.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the process of figuring that out. But who knows? It's going to be I'm going to be able to walk downstairs without thinking about it for the first time since I was 15. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I can't wait, because you already do, it hasn't stopped you much until just recently. So I cannot wait to see what you're going to be able to get up to. Exciting. Thanks so much for listening into today's episode. If you love the show, as I hope you do, please take the time to subscribe on your favourite pod listening platform and rate and review. And for bonus points, if you have a friend or someone who popped to mind as you were listening to this episode, why not hit the share link wherever you're listening and send them a little love bomb. Like, listen to this. Did you know this is normal? I really, really, really would love to get these beautiful stories into the hearts and ears and minds of so many more midlife mavens. And your help spreading the love is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm Kylie Patchett, your host, and have a spectacular day.